Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're all doing fine. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me this morning, guys, on this. What's the day today? Tuesday, guys. Tuesday, the 14th of October, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. All that sweet stuff. Now, guys, let's get into it. You know, guys, I'm over here in the UAE. I'm trying to get as much news as possible in regards to the Manchester United takeover. I'm trying to get to the nitty-gritty of it. Now, fresh reports are circulating over here that an unknown consortium in the UAE is not the consortium that we believe that we are all talking about. It's not government-based, but it is a consortium that are willing to invest in Manchester United and to give Manchester United a proper rebuild. Voices are circulating over here that they want to invest into Manchester United. I spoke yesterday and the day before about the ICD consortium, about the Legatum consortium as well. These two are major players in the UAE in regards to investment into football clubs, etc. But an unknown consortium, an unknown UAE-based consortium, are discussing the prospect of investment into Manchester United, that being with a huge rebuild of the football club from the ground upwards. Guys, listen, it's been a while since we had a proper rebuild. I don't think we've had a proper rebuild, if you ask me. I think over the last 20 years, we've had no rebuild, guys. Absolutely. The last rebuild we actually had was under Sir Alex Ferguson. That was the last rebuild we had. Manchester United need a huge rebuild, which means the players, the staff, the infrastructure, the stadium, etc. We need a huge rebuild. Now, news is circulating that the consortium, the UAE-based consortium, are also looking at the possibility of Manchester United staying at Old Trafford, guys. This is very, very interesting. Now, I reported a couple of times over this last week that there could be a little snag in regards to the new stadium, that there could be some government-based problems going on, because we are looking for investment in the stadium. We're looking for someone to basically pay for the stadium for us. But this UAE-based consortium, which wants to remain anonymous, they are also very, very keen on the idea of staying at Old Trafford and rebuilding the football club from the ground upwards where we currently are, guys. Absolutely. I'm going to get into some potential signings that Manchester United could bring in over the next few months if this deal goes through. Of course, look, there's lots of exciting news. And guys, I'm telling you right now, once the Glazers put the club up for sale, there's not going to be one consortium. There's going to be a few consortiums that are going to be vying for investment into this football club and buying this football club fully. It does look like this football club is going to be sold fully. We hope so. We hope the Glazers finally loosen their hand on the football club and we can finally get our club back after 20 years, guys, because we suffered enough. I think we suffered enough with the Glazers, and I think the Manchester United fans deserve the best ownership that is possible, guys, and that is whoever's willing to invest in the football team. And I'm not talking about half-hearted investment here. I'm talking about astronomical investment in the football team. We've always said over the last few years that Manchester United need at least $1 billion spent on it, and that is just the football team, guys. You know, and we haven't had that. We're always big part in leaving things out, and we need someone just to come in, blow the bloody doors off, completely build it up, completely from the ground upwards, and fix this football team, of course, guys. But the unknown consortium over in the UAE, as I'm doing my groundwork, guys, I'm over here in Abu Dhabi, I'm doing my groundwork. There's suggestions that they are very excited about the prospect of purchasing Manchester United. Now, I did say, as I said, the two consortiums, it could be ICD, which are government owned. It could be Legatum, which are not, but they are a huge investment company and own the likes of GB News, etc. But there's lots of puzzles that are going to be fixed into this monumental puzzle, of course, guys. Absolutely. So very exciting news anyway, in regards to a proper rebuild. Well, because, look, guys, what I want more than anything is a great football team. That's what I want. I want a football team that is competing. All right, I want a football team that is challenged for league titles. I want a football team that is challenged for Champions League, because that is where Manchester United should be. Forget about all these other little clubs, guys. Forget about all these little clubs, guys. It's about Manchester United at the end of the day, the biggest club in the world, of course, guys. Let me get into your comments real quick, guys, and I'm going to get into some transfer news as well, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Big up Marky Mark, the legend. What's going on, brother? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed, my friend. Hope everything is good with you. And morning, Sal in the community. How are you, my friend? Very well. It's good to see you, man. Must be in dreamland. Full Sal coming. No more Glazers. Big up, Sal. Big up, Marky Mark. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well, Mark. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you here, the legend in the house, of course. Big up, Benny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I don't know why you're coming out on your full email or something's coming out. Big up, Benny Sligo. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Benny, by the way. Morning, everyone. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see the members in the house. Of course, guys. Good morning, Saviour. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Any news about the Glazer sell to Man U? Yeah, we're getting into that very, very soon. But what needs investment at Manchester United? For me, it's the football team. The football team is the pinnacle of what needs investment, because that is your bread and butter. You fix the football team. You get a winning, competing football team. I'm telling you now, guys, you don't need that much investment. You make money organically. You do. However, in regards to an investment, Manchester United will be good if we cleared the debt and got rid of the Glazers. There's just two things right there, guys, that we need to do. Clear the debt, get rid of the Glazers, and you're going to see Man United thrive. That's what's going to happen, guys. You're going to see Man United thrive. And it sounds simple, doesn't it? It sounds simple, but it's something that we've been plagued with for the last 20 years. The Glazers. We've been plagued with them, guys. And ever since we sold Cristiano Ronaldo in 2008 and replaced him with Antonio Valencia and Michael Owen and Gabriel Obertan and players of that ilk, we knew what these Glazers were all about. It was only because of Sir Alex Ferguson that we maintained a level, guys. We maintained a level because he knew the football club. He knew the ins and outs of the football club. And we managed to by hook or by crook, still win titles, still get to Champions League finals. But since Sir Alex Ferguson's left, the Glazers have been exposed for who they are. They've been exposed, lacking any inkling of knowledge about football completely, neglecting the stadium, neglecting the infrastructure, neglecting the football team. Just throwing money at certain things when desperate times are needed. And yes, they threw money at the football team. Yes, we signed players, but we never did a complete rebuild of the team, the squad. And just like this summer, we never did a full rebuild of the squad. And we have left various positions on the pitch unattained, unfixed, basically, completely broken. We're including the midfield, the wing back positions. We waited to the last minute to sign a goalkeeper. We're very threadbare on the defense. And this is what we're talking about. Our squad in general is very threadbare. And this is what people forget as well. Now, one of the biggest problems at Manchester United, of course, is the midfield, right? Is the midfield. And there are a number of names that I have been mentioning over the last few months about who can possibly come into Manchester United in that midfield position. Now, the dream, of course, for many people is Carlos Baleba, is Adam Wharton. These two players in that middle of the pitch will be absolutely fantastic, and they would complement each other perfectly. However, it does depend on who leaves the football club. If Bruno decides to stay at the football club next season, we are not getting another midfielder in there apart from maybe one midfielder, and that's it. If Bruno decides to leave this football club, then obviously we will be signing two midfielders. I actually believe we need to move on from the past. I really do think that. I really do. I think we need to build for the future, get a new midfield in there. My dream midfield, people know my dream midfield. It's Baleba and Wharton. I know that Baleba started poorly this season, but my dream is Baleba and Wharton. That is my dream. Those two midfield positions right there should be covered, absolutely. Good morning. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see Trey in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Good morning, Ephraim. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're good. Good to see you again, of course. Good morning, Saviour. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Rebuild can be a good idea. That is what we need. Absolutely. Big up, Marky Mark again. Of course. Big up, everyone. Sal, it would be good. We need investment in the team. This is what we need ultimately. Now, look, you know, we've had a lot of promises over the last few years, not least during the takeover process when Qatar were interested in buying the football club. And generally, we're very close to purchasing the football club. It was because of Jim Ratcliffe and his desperation for his vanity project that we didn't get a full sale, guys. And whatever you look at it, it was the wrong decision. It was the wrong decision. Right now, we can see it's the wrong decision. Guys, do you guys actually trust Ineos right now? Do you trust them? Do you trust them to concentrate on the football team? Do you think that Jim Ratcliffe really cares? Do you think that? Come on, guys. Let's be realistic, guys. This guy's a manipulator. He's a businessman. Now, look, fair play. Invested some money into Carrington, which was already agreed with the Glazers. That was that stipulation for him to take over the football club in the first place. Without that, he wouldn't have got his 27%. Let's just clear that up right now, right? But other than that, we have not had the rebuild that we feel we should have. Manchester United came 15th last season. After we came 15th last season, it should have been right. That's it. You, out the football club. Let's move on now with new players. Let's get a completely new team. We didn't do that. 9 of the players that started the Europa League final have played this season, guys, for Manchester United. So what are we trying to do here? What are we trying to prove here? Are we trying to make Maguire into prime Maldini? Are we trying to make Luke Shaw the fittest, most consistent player of all time? Are we trying to do that? What are we doing here? Because once a player reaches 30 years old, there's no way, Jose, that these players are going to improve, right? They're not going to improve. Their performances might get slightly better, but their weaknesses will be their weaknesses, guys. You got a bad back at 30 years old, you are generally going to have a bad back for the rest of your life, guys. This is the way it is. This is the way sport is. And this is the way top-level sport is. Unless you're young, unless you're 20, and you can improve your craft and improve as a player and change your body, change your habits, then, guys, you're not going to improve if you're 30 years old. And this is one thing that I say about a rebuild. What are we trying to do? Giving Harry Maguire a new contract is exactly the problem that has plagued this football club for 20 years. This is exactly what we hang on to what has been, and not what has been, what has failed. We hang on to this, guys. Absolutely. Saviour, the Glazers should go, please. We need some investors who know football. Absolutely, Saviour, spot on. My friend, big up Christian. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. Our glory days ain't that far away. We'll be challenging for major trophy soon, United believe. Look, guys, Christian, I agree. Look, we are not that far away, Christian, my guy. We're not that far away. We are closer than you think. Manchester United are a competent owner away from dominating English football again. I'm telling you right now. I know it seems a big thing. I know we need to get rid of the Glazers. And right now, after 20 years, you get this PTSD where you feel like they're never going to leave this football club. They're never going to disappear from us. You know, they're like a piece of meat stuck in your teeth there for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? They're never going to leave this football club, but they will. They will. Once their pockets dry up, once they don't have a plan, if this regeneration project hits a snag, guys, then they're going to think about selling this football club. They were already going to sell the football club before Jim Ratcliffe facilitated the Glazers. So what we have to understand is this. We keep our hopes up. We're not overly pessimistic. We have to be zealous as well. Not saying delusional. We're not saying toxic positive. We're saying that this football club are not as far away as people think. We have to believe. But we have certain things at our football club right now that need to be changed. Otherwise, we're not going to get to the place where we want to go, right? And hanging on to what has been, hanging on to the past is something that we need to let go of. I'm talking about the football team because our past is what makes us at the end of the day. We are no Man United without our past, but I'm talking about the current football team. Absolutely. Big ups, Christian. Good to see you. Benny. 74 in the house, only 60 likes. Guys, 50 likes minimum on Breaking Dawn, guys. That is the minimum. Please, guys, we got 100 likes yesterday. We need to get 100 likes, over 1,000 views. Come on, guys, let's get it in. Good morning, Daryl. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. None of the board care, bro. Just money-grabbing wankers. Absolutely, brother. Look, listen. This is the problem at Man United. We know we're not stupid. We know that these guys only care about their pockets. They only care about their pockets. The great thing about the UAE, Qatar, and all these entities, right? All these big, huge states, as people want to call them, they don't really care about money. They don't give a damn about money. Money comes and goes with them. ICD, the UAE consortium, have 1.4 trillion of investments in the world, guys. 1.4 trillions worth. Guys, so look, investment, whatever. If they took charge of Manchester United, boy, oh boy, it's going to be scary. Not for us, for them, for our rivals. It will be scary, guys, absolutely. Good morning, Rasta. How you doing, my brother? Hope you're doing well. Sal, Glazers, Ineos out. They have to go. Absolutely, Rasta. I couldn't say it better myself. Of course. Ram, what's going on, my friend? So, welcome, salam. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. All good. They wanted to ask you, would ICD team up with Emma Properties Dubai as a front because Premier League wouldn't like Man United owned by government of Dubai. The Premier League wouldn't like Man United owned by anyone who's got money and anyone wants to invest in the football team to the point that we're going to be absolutely dominating football again. This is why we're so hated at the end of the day, Ram. You know what I would say, because they fear the wounded beast. They fear the return of Manchester United. That's what they fear. And you know what? Listen, Rambo, in regards to Amar, by the way, guys, Amar, they're the company that build all the big buildings and all the hotels and businesses over here. It's basically Amar, right? They're the biggest company in regards to what they build. This is quite a possibility, as you said there. The ICD, EMA, a collaboration, Legatum, the ICD. The ICD are the government-based, obviously the government of Dubai, which is the consortium, the main consortium of Dubai, the main investment company of Dubai with 1.4 trillion in investments around the world. They could possibly team up with AMAR, but obviously ICD basically own AMAR anyway. So anything that is as big as AMAR, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anything as big as that could be, owned by the government already. So, look, you look at what the UAE do. You look at what they've built. And guys, in 1996, right, I went to the UAE. In 1996, when I got off the aeroplane, right, there was no airport, guys. Nothing there. Desert. It was desert. Within the last 30, 40 years, this country that I live in now, beautiful country, has expanded tenfold. Absolutely incredible rebuild. That is what you call a rebuild. That is what you call a rebuild, what they built here, guys. Now, people think, right, that, you know what, because they're state-owned, they're this, that, human rights and this. This country gives opportunities to so many people, British, Australian, Italian, everything, right? And let me tell you something, the lies that get spread around is ridiculous. England, my country, the place of my birth, do not care about Manchester United. Let me tell you that right now. They don't care about this football club. England does not give two hoots about the football club, even though they should, because we built English football. They don't care about us. So when your people are thinking about Qatar, they're thinking about the Middle East, they're thinking about Jim Ratcliffe. Listen, guys, that's the country would rather see Man United burn than Man United be successful again. Let me tell you that right now. I know that for a fact. Right? You look at the media outlets, you look at the BBC, you look at Sky Sports, you look at ESPN, you look at TalkSport, you look at all of these companies out there about how they talk about our football club. Look at just yesterday. Look at yesterday with the biggest flops in the Premier League. Guess who's top of that list? Benjamin Sesko. 6 people voted for Benjamin Sesko. How on earth 2 goals, right? He started 2-3 games and 2 goals. How on earth can they put Benjamin Sesko up there, guys? No sign of Florian Wirtz. No Florian Wirtz. None of that business. Benjamin Sesko. That shows you how hated we are. And that was from The Athletic, by the way, just to give them a shout out. Absolute frauds. Because this is what they are, guys. You're talking about human rights, this, that, and the other. I've lived in the UAE 3 years. You're talking about the human rights and stuff and all this business here, guys. Listen, I will sit here and drink my coffee over in the UAE with the finest beans in the world, guys. Absolutely. I'll do that. I'm happy to do that, guys. Rather than going out of my house in Southwark and getting my phone snatched out of my hand. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about here. Do you know what I mean? Listen, guys, we need to move on. Let's stop watching Disney cartoons. Let's stop watching Orange Man in the United States. And let's get into what the real facts are here, guys. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, RDZ. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Ineos promised the best in class, yet players are not from the first season of Van Gaal are still here. Absolutely. Hopefully, we get owners that hold up their word and their standards of this football club. RDZ, spot on. We want the promises. We want them to come through on their promises that they gave us. That's all we want. Apparently, Ineos were going to buy the football club in 2026. This was the whole idea, Apparently that. How likely do you think that Ineos are going to buy the football club fully? Are they going to clear the debt? Right? I doubt it very, very, very much when they're looking for government funding to build a stadium. Big up, Earthfan. What's going on, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Some work Islam, you're doing well, brother. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, Tyborg. Good morning, everyone. Big up, Tyborg. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course, will the takeover happen? It will happen. Look, guys. Look, regardless of what people think, I'm always been zealous in regards to the future of this football club because I believe that we are an ownership away from. We are an ownership away from dominating football again. That is what I believe. I believe Manchester United are not as far away as people think. They're not as far away as people would like to believe. Man United are nearly there. We just need a good ownership. RDZ, we are competent owners away from dominating again. It's time. Absolutely. There you go. Speak of the devil. Absolutely, guys. We are a competent ownership away from completely dominating football again, guys. And I'm talking about dominance. Not I won a league twice in 30 years, like a certain club from Merseyside. I'm talking about what we used to do. 3 titles in a row. Twice, guys. I'm talking about Champions League and Premier League double. I'm talking about treble. I'm talking about that. Let's talk about what real success is here, guys. Let's talk about what it's all about, of course. Old Trafford should be refurbished. The Generation Project is an excuse to move the stadium. It is, Earthfan, and this is something that I've been pointing out on for many, many weeks now. The reason they want a new stadium is because of the hotels, the regeneration of the area. They want the hotels, the franchises, the concert stadium to make money. They want to rename the stadium. They probably put their name Ineos Stadium all over the gaff, and that's what they want. With Old Trafford, they know they can't do this. They know they can't put this rubber stamp their name all over the place. They know they can't turn Old Trafford into a concert, a bowling ground, a bowl of a stadium. You know what I mean? Or tent or circus, however you want. They know they can't do that with Old Trafford. You know, Old Trafford is a historical landmark. You know, full of history. You know, it should be listed. The building. You know. Earthfan, they say Florian Wirtz is given time and he's resilient. What a joke. Guys, when you look at the top 10, like I couldn't believe my eyes with the Athletic report. I mean, this just goes to show you. I mean, Sesko's been performing very well, right? Before he weren't getting the goals at the beginning of the season, but he didn't start, did he? He didn't start. But every time he's come onto the football pitch, he's played well. Now he's got 2 goals for Man United in 2 games. And lo and behold, we're signing in the Premier League this season. This is one thing I will mention to you guys, every single one in this stream. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember how hated we are as a football club. This is evidence. They would lie. They would fit a narrative on us. And then they say, oh, Arsenal are the most hard done by team. No. Manchester United are the most hard done by team here. What about your carers? Your carers have been crap. Let's be real here. He's been crap. You know, he's been playing like a prime Lukaku. That is your carers, right? And they don't want to talk about him, though, do they? They want to talk about Benjamin Sesko, bring down our fans. But guys, don't fall for their nonsense. This is what they want. They want to create division. They want to create a narrative around Manchester United that, you know what, is a lie. RDZ, the media constantly disrespect us so they can get clicks, hated, adored, never ignored. They hate us, really hate us. Absolutely, RD, definitely. Marky Mark, legend. Always an agenda because United hated or never ignored. Absolutely, brother. Let Ineos all the heavy lifting and then boot them out. Yeah, look, guys. I mean, at the moment, if the Glazers did decide to leave this football club, which I really, really hope they do, the Ineos have been played. They've been played. Because if they have to leave this football club, if a consortium comes into Manchester United and purchases Manchester United fully, Ineos have to leave, more or less. They don't have to. It depends on the consortium. It depends on who owns the football club and what they want to do with Ineos. But if the Glazers left and Jim Ratcliffe was forced out of the football club, he's basically paid for a training ground for basically played. The Glazers played them. And this is exactly, we could have told Jim Ratcliffe that before you went to bed with the devil, my guy. We could have told you that these guys are not to be trusted. They care about themselves, and that is it. They don't care about anything. They've let this club rot to the ground. Do you know what I mean? This is what they've done. They've let Manchester United, this great football club, rot to the ground. This is what the Glazers have done over the years. They've not invested a penny of their own money, and they're set to make billions from this football club. You know, they're selling this football club on debt that they accumulated, the debt that they accumulated, and they're getting someone else to pay it for them. You know, imagine you go out there, guys, you get yourself a loan, right? You get yourself a loan to buy yourself a new car, all right? And then you put your car up for sale, right? But you still owe 20 grand on that car, 20,000 on that car, right? You have that car, right? You put it up for sale. Is the guy that's going to buy your car going to pay your loan debt? Is he going to pay your loan debt? So basically, you take the money from the car, and then you're saying, right, I'm going to keep this money you purchased from the car, and I want you to pay off the debt as well, so I can keep this money to myself without having to put it on the debt. This is exactly what it is, guys. This is what the Glazers have done. You know, and people, you know, say, oh, but Jim Ratcliffe this, Jim Ratcliffe this, Jim Ratcliffe that, Jim Ratcliffe this, Glazers this. They slept with each other. They negotiated with each other. They went to bed with each other. And that is the biggest problem here, isn't it? One who sleeps with the enemy is the enemy. You know, and this is what I would say, guys. Absolutely. Saviour. Man U should also sign Breno for the future player. Absolutely. Big up, Saviour. Absolutely. Now, guys, look, there's lots of news going around, especially in Germany, about Joby Bellingham. Joby Bellingham has basically out of favour in Germany at the moment. He has not reached the heights of his brother Jude, of course, who played for Borussia Dortmund as well. And he's been left on the bench numerous amounts of times. His family have come out and said that they are unhappy at the fact about his game time and basically indirectly demanding a move away from the football club. Now, this is alerted the likes of Manchester United, who, of course, were interested in Joby Bellingham when he was playing for Sunderland. Guys, if there's anything that shows you that there's no smoke without, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, it's this perfectly, because look how well Sunderland are doing at the moment. Now, Manchester United still see Joby Bellingham as an ideal signing in the team, guys, and are very, very interested in this player. If this player continues to be disgruntled and continues to complain about his game time, Manchester United could pounce on the young player, of course, guys. And would I be happy with this signing? I mean, there's loads of players out there I would prefer before that. Now, I mentioned yesterday about the transfer request from Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba has handed in his transfer request. Let me just tell you that right now. And the transfer request has been accepted. And Brighton will accept deals from 60 million plus for Carlos Baleba at the moment, guys. Now, Carlos Baleba, of course, I've lost count how many times I've spoken about Carlos Baleba. Still a very good player, but also has criminally underperformed this season for whatever reason. And there's obviously lots of doubts about his mentality and his implementation and his professionalism in regards to his performances over the last few months. Now, he does have to pick up these performances because there are midfielders in the Premier League who fit the bill perfectly, i.e. Elliot Anderson, for example, Adam Wharton, for example. Now, guys, lots of news going on about Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba this, Carlos Baleba that. Now, I still like and admire Carlos Baleba. I want to clear this up. I still believe he is high on Manchester United's transfer wish list. He's not been taken from Manchester United's transfer wish list. He's still up there as a potential signing for Manchester United is Carlos Baleba, and he's still a very good player. However, his performances from this day forth until the transfer window in January need to improve significantly, guys. Absolutely. Now, whilst the rumors circulate around Kobe Mainoo and other players within this Manchester United team, i.e. Joshua Zirkzee, Manchester United could still pounce on Baleba in January because Brighton are looking to cash in on the player now. They want to get the player out the door now, considering the player more or less doesn't want to play for Brighton anymore. And that's pretty evident, right? So they're looking to sell him in January. If Kobe Mainoo goes on loan, if Manchester United manage to sell one of those players, i.e. Joshua Zirkzee, who's quite evidently out of favour with Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim doesn't rate him. Let's be honest, guys. Then Manchester United could quite possibly do a deal for Carlos Baleba. If this happens, guys. If this happens, of course. Now, obviously, Man United, regardless of what happens in January, regardless whether it's Baleba, Manchester United do need to get a midfielder in there. If it's on loan or if it's a Gallagher, if it's a Ruben Neves, if it's someone like that, Man United do need to get reinforcements in that midfield area. They do. One of the players that have been mentioned over the last few weeks, obviously, is Adam Wharton. There was obviously news circulating over this last 48 hours about a 60 million deal in January. Guys, let me just reiterate what's going on here. In regards to the January Adam Wharton thing, this is very, very unlikely. Adam Wharton will not leave in January. He has a gentleman's agreement with Crystal Palace until the summer. There are a number of clubs vying for Adam Wharton's signature. Adam Wharton, for me, is an absolute generational player, guys. An absolute star of a player, an absolute generational player. He would fit the mold perfectly. I actually think that him and Baleba would complement each other perfectly. I really do think that would be great, isn't it? If we got, in an ideal world, we got Carlos Baleba and Adam Wharton. But Adam Wharton will be leaving in the summer. Things can change in football. Of course they can. But it does look highly likely that Adam Wharton would leave in the summer for 60+ million. Real Madrid are on high alert in regards to Adam Wharton. So let me just say that. Need I say more? Need I say more? Need I say more what Manchester United need to do? Manchester United need to use January as a tool to agree deals in principle. That's what we need to do. Manchester United have already agreed on a deal in principle with Carlos Baleba. They've already spoken to Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba has agreed to go to Manchester United. He wants Manchester United. There's obviously rumours about Liverpool. There's obviously rumours about Chelsea in the wings as well. But Manchester United have stolen a march on Carlos Baleba, and this originated in the summer. Manchester United are still meeting with representatives of Carlos Baleba at the end of this month. And basically, hopefully, they will solidify a deal with Brighton as well, and we can get that player. However, there is a number of stipulations and situations that need to be resolved first. There are a number of players that are on Manchester United's wish list in regards to in the midfield, Guys, 39 likes. Thank you, Earth Fan. Big up for the update, my friend. 39 likes. Let's get to 50 likes before the end of the show, guys. Don't be a scouse. Smash a like on the video, guys. If you love Manchester United, you will smash a like on the video, guys. Big up, Earth Fan. Tyborg, I remember this hated from the media was also in the 90s, but back then we had Sir Alex Ferguson put them in place. Absolutely, Tyborg. This is very important. This is very important because back in the 90s, some people won't remember, but Alex Ferguson didn't speak to the BBC. We got fined for not speaking to the BBC. He didn't care. We didn't speak to the BBC. He did not fulfill his media obligations, Alex Ferguson, because he felt that the BBC were biased, and they were. We would not be pushed over by anyone. People in the press conferences, right, would be removed. This is what I would tell Ruben Amorim. If I could tell Ruben Amorim a couple of things, right? One of the things I would tell Ruben Amorim, Ruben, the media don't like us, bruv. The media don't like us. Put your foot down on the media. Whether that's Samuel Luckhurst, whatever. What's his name? Luckhurst, who's already writing slandering headlines in The Sun. And we all know what The Sun are, don't we? So I would urge us to be Manchester United again. Us against the world. Because exactly what Tyborg said, this hated thing, this is not a new thing, guys. We've been hated for years, for decades. They hate us for some weird reason. The media hate us. They want us to fall. They want the decline of the Man United to continue because they hate us. Right? We're the most supported club in the world. Probably. And we caused them a lot of pain. Probably over the years. We knocked their favourite club, Liverpool, off their perch. That's what we did. And we need to knock Liverpool off their perch again, starting, of course, on the 19th of October at Anfield. Right? So, look, guys, hated, adored, never ignored for no. That quote has not been there for the last few months. That quote is ingrained in our history. Ingrained in our history. And we don't just say things like youth, courage, and success. We don't just say these things for the sake of saying it for buzzwords. This is our heritage. This is in our DNA. Hated, adored, never ignored is in our DNA. That's who we are. We're always hated, guys. With a passion. With a passion, we're hated. We get people waking up in the morning thinking, I'm going to put Sesko as the worst signing in Premier League this season. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's ridiculous. It's mad, you know, and this is how hated we are. Ephraim, Sal, we make them cry. We are huge. I do not care what anybody says. We do. We've hurt them many, many years, of course, guys. Absolutely. Ephraim, this is a mess, Sal. We have on Wolves as owners. Both are in it for the money only. The club will become unrecognizable if we become competitive. The club will become, the club is already unrecognizable from the club that I recognized many, many years ago, because before we were completely different. It seemed like back in the day when Man United were in the 90s and stuff like that, guys, Man United was separate from everyone else. We were just separate. You were there, you do your thing, you know, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, you do your thing. We're Manchester United. We'll do our thing. And that is what Man United used to be. You used to feel Man United, you know, you used to feel it. Guys, I don't know if you've ever been to any game away from home at Man United, right? Let me just tell you how it feels. Back in the 90s and the turn of this century, the early turn of this century, right? When Man United used to walk out of stadiums away from home, right? Man United glow. Man United used to glow. They used to glow. They used to you see, like, for example, Fulham or another team like that who were next to them. Man United just used to glow. The red, white, and black glowed. You can see it is Man United. It is Man United. You know what I mean? We've lost that. We're unrecognizable now. You know, we lost that. You know, and we need to get that back. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Keith, good morning. United can stay at Old Trafford and build a bigger stadium. The canal can be diverted to allow for the scoreboard and the south stand to be rebuilt. And obviously the train track as well. Obviously there is a train line there, which obviously became the problem during the 90s, of course, like that. But that is something that is not in the realms of fixing. We can still rebuild the football club and rebuild the stadium. It will be in Manchester United's best interest, let me tell you, and Arsenal will tell you this, guys. It's in Manchester United's best interest to keep us at Old Trafford. Keep us at Old Trafford. That is our home, our spiritual home. That is it. It's not just about infrastructure, guys. It's not just about, a brand new, shiny new stadium. It's about the historical, spiritual value of that area right there, of Old Trafford. Spiritual value, right? I don't know if people are deep in their spirituality. I don't know. But throughout history, there's been stories about Man United at Old Trafford, about how the ball moved when on the penalty spot, when the opposition were taking a penalty. There's something spiritual about Old Trafford, right? And there always have been. Because you think about the greats that have played at Old Trafford: George Best, Duncan Edwards, Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law. These players are still there by spirit. And moving away from Old Trafford will completely erase that, because that is where we are. That is our home. That's our home. And we should try tooth and nail to stay there. Now, if the rumors are true about the UAE, about the consortium over here, wanting to invest in the stadium and remain at Old Trafford, so be it. Because that is what Qatar would have done. That's what they would have done. The whole plan all along for Jim Ratcliffe and this vanity project was the Generation Project, in putting his name everywhere. This is why Jim Ratcliffe was enticed to put just the 27% ownership in the football club, so he can have a piece of that pie. And that is what it is, in line to make billions. He doesn't care about the heritage of Manchester United. Yeah, Manchester United is a rundown stadium at the moment. It's old. Of course it is. It hasn't been, the Glazers have left it to rot. Of course they have. They're the responsibility to this. This is the Glazers. And Ineos facilitated them. We need someone to come into Old Trafford and say, right, you look at Real Madrid. And I spoke about Real Madrid yesterday. I've been to the Bernabeu a number of times, guys. I've been to the Bernabeu when the Bernabeu was old, right? When it was just concrete, graffiti everywhere, right? I've been to the Bernabeu, right? And when you go to the Bernabeu, you got the Santiago Bernabeu station, right? But there is a big motorway, right, going across the Bernabeu. There's a massive motorway. But also, there's a housing estate. There's apartment blocks all around the Bernabeu. But somehow, they still managed to build the stadium there. They still managed to build the Bernabeu, stay where they are. Right? Why can't we do it? RDZ. If this takeover happens, I hope they keep Fletcher and Wilcox. We probably have the best youth team in the country. They play their role in that. I'm sure they will, Ardy said. I don't think they're going to completely rip up everything that Man United. One thing I would say, I think they'll rip up the board. They rip up the board. I don't think they're going to sack Ruben Amorim. I know that a lot of people are talking about they're going to sack Ruben Amorim. If they come in, he's going to be sacked. No, they're not. They're not. They're going to give him a chance, and they'll probably back him how the Glazers should have backed him and Ineos should have backed him. You know, Tyborg. Sometimes I feel that for some reason the British government allowed the Glazers to destroy us, and it was not a coincidence. The Glazers are rats, but I always blame the government for allowing this. Absolutely, Tyborg. Why is what they did back then in 2005 illegal now? Why is there no retrospective action in regards to what they did in 2005? Right now, they should, just like they did with Roman Abramovich, they should be forced out of Manchester United. Right? Is it because they're American? Is it? It's because it's Man United and we want Man United to crumble? I think it's both. You know, at the end of the day, because, you know, at the end of the day, I guarantee you, right? If these owners were Qatari, they will be hounded out the football club. You know, they'll be hounded out the football. Look what they've done to Man United, a historical, cultural institution like Manchester United. They'll be talking like that. You know, so I would say this, right? In regards to the government didn't need to let this happen. This shouldn't happen. No one should be allowed to get out a loan, pull it on the football club, and leave the profits of the football club to pay that loan, whilst taking dividends from the football club as well, by the way. Now, I'm not the biggest mathematician, finance expert in the world, but even I know that's fishy, that's dodgy. Even I knew back then, back in 2005, when I was wearing my green and gold scarf at Old Trafford at the Stretford end, I knew that this was wrong, what they're doing to this football club. And many people were saying, give them a chance, Sal, give them a chance. I said, no, mate, what they've done is wrong. They put debt on this football club. We never had debt. We never had debt before. We could afford any player we wanted to, guys. Any player that became available, we could have bought them. We could have purchased them. It doesn't matter who it was. You just chose not to, you know? Big up Tyborg, legend, of course. John, could Qatar come back? Qatar is still interested in Manchester United. It's still interested in Manchester United. Man United have a verbal agreement with Carlos Baleba, in principle, yes. But not with Brighton. Fee-wise, not with Brighton, with the player himself. I like Baleba, but he needs to improve on his performance. Absolutely, Kenny. We can't ignore his performances. This is very important. I spoke about it yesterday. I'm not going to flip-flop away from this, but his performances are very important because if he doesn't improve his performances, Man United shouldn't buy him. Ephraim, Sal, our culture is so bad. We need players who can cope with the situation. We need mentality monsters, not crybaby like Rashford. Marcus Rashford talking again yesterday. Look, regardless of what Marcus Rashford says, right? If Marcus Rashford spoke yesterday, some of it was an element of truth about the football club. But listen, he's using this as a blame game for his own performances. This is where I disagree with Marcus Rashford. He is using the problems at Man United to justify walking on the pitch, not challenging for headers, underperforming for a couple of years. Marcus Rashford just needs to be quiet. I wish him the best of luck at Barcelona, and I hope Barcelona buy him. I do. He just needs to be quiet and concentrate on his game. Man United have problems. We know Man United have problems, but, you know, you walking around the pitch has nothing to do with inconsistencies, mate. It's to do with being a lazy prat. That's what it's about, mate, right? And being a crybaby on the pitch. Your ego's hurt. I'll split up with my girlfriend. Oh, no. That is you, Marcus. You know what I mean? I don't care. This football club, this great football club that I fell in love with all those years ago, 40 years ago nearly. It was because of the people that gave you a platform, Marcus. You know, the people that you are standing on the shoulders of. The reason you got all the luxuries in your life, the reason you're playing for Barcelona right now is because of Manchester United. Otherwise, you would have just drifted away into the abyss and played for Shrewsbury Town or something, mate. You know what I mean? Remember, Marcus Rashford was behind Martial and Wilson at Man United before he got his debut. It was only because of injuries he got his debut. Irfan, how do you erect a statue of a legend but don't celebrate his birthday? No fuss, no recognition or story, PR. This is how our club will shut out the history and become the recognizable. You know what I would say, Irfan? every single time I have an opportunity on this stream, I would speak about the legends. I will speak about Bobby Charlton, Sir Bobby Charlton. I'll speak about Dennis Law. I'll speak about George Best, Duncan Edwards, Eric Cantona. I will always speak about the legends of this football club. There are content creators, right, who when Dennis Law passed away, they didn't even say one word. When Sir Bobby Charlton passed away, they didn't say one word. For goodness sake, some of them sit in the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. You know, and we don't even mention these legends. This goes to show you. This goes to show you where their mentality is. They don't care for this football club. They don't love this football club. And that is resonated into social media. And that is resonated into Manchester United as it is. We have little posts here and there. There should have been a day. The Man United logo should have been black. It should have been everything. Should have been a tribute to Bobby Charlton. But we don't do that. You know, these, as I said, I've said it many times, these are the shoulders that we're standing on. Sir Bobby Charlton, you know, who suffered adversity in his career, you know, the worst adversity that you can ever imagine, you know. Tyborg, I would avoid Baleba and go for one of his British players. Our team is small already, and losing many players to the AFCON could destroy our whole season. It's already bad, isn't it, Tyborg? When we're looking at the AFCON at the moment, we've got Ahmad Mazraoui and Mbremo, who are going to be going to the African nations very, very soon, guys, and our squad is very threadbare. I agree with Tyborg here. However, the African nations finishes in, if they go all the way Cameroon, for example, it'll be the 21st of January. So, yeah, that will be after the transfer window, wouldn't it? Regardless what happens, Baleba won't be able to sign for Man United till after the AFCON. Exactly. Man United, if I had a choice right now, Sal, you can have any midfielder you like right now in the Premier League. It would be Adam Wharton for me. It would be Adam Wharton. That is the guy I would go for. He's the guy I would want, right? That is my opinion, right? After the AFCON, I think that Man United should still sign Baleba at the moment, but it is an issue with the AFCON. But I mean, obviously, you can't stop players playing for their country, but you know, it is difficult for as Alex Ferguson. I'll tell you guys a fact. Alex Ferguson didn't used to sign players from Africa because of the AFCON. And if you look at Man United, we rarely did. Obviously, you can count on one hand how many we signed. We signed, obviously, Fortune, of course. Jemba was another one. We really didn't buy players of a certain amount of money because of the AFCON. And obviously, every couple of years, they go to the AFCON, guys. But yeah, that's going to be an issue. And Man United are fully aware of that. This is why I don't think Baleba will sign for Man United in January. This is why. And there's a number of stipulations because of that. But he could still sign for Man United and come to Man United in January after the AFCON. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I think it's unrealistic to suggest that Carlos Baleba will be signing in January. Big up, Tyborg. Great comment. Marky Mark. Everyone, please hit the likes and subscribe. Thank you, Marky Mark. Guys, listen, we need to get to 50 likes. Guys, let's get to 50 likes. Guys, let's get to 100 by the end of today. If we can do that, guys, don't be a scouse. Smash a like. Big up everyone from Singapore. Big up Pearl. How you doing? Good to see you again, my friend. Really good to see you again, of course. Absolutely. Samuel Wokerst. Sam is a prat. Honestly, Samuel Wokerst is an absolute bigger, honestly. I noticed that the players we bring in, gone all the way up there. Let me just read this. I noticed that the players we bring in are more individual than complementing. If we look at Sarah's team, they are complementing each other, and that is strength. That's the reason we're inconsistent. Yes. Even though the players that we used to sign were not popular, i.e., I'll give you an example. When we signed Michael Carrick, those who don't remember, a lot of people were against the Michael Carrick signing. A lot of people said, oh, Michael Carrick, why Michael Carrick? You know, he fitted the team. As a team, he fitted the team. You know, and he complemented the team. Like I would talk about England, for example. Let me give you an example about England back in the golden generation. England would try and shoehorn Lampard, Scholes, and Gerrard into the team just because they are what they are. When in reality, England needed Carrick, you know, just to balance the team and drop they needed to drop Lampard, right? And drop that, yeah? And they just needed to put Carrick in there. And that's what we're talking about. Team, balance. Complementing the team. And this is what I've been going on all the time. It's not necessarily the player that is the most fashionable. Like Baleba, for example. Let me give you an example. Many people would pick Baleba over Adam Wharton. right? Because Adam Balaba's fashionable. He's the talk of the town. He's skillful. He's this. He's guile. He's a Paul Pogba sort of player. But because Adam Wharton's unfashionable, they're like, no, I don't really want it. Even though Adam Wharton would be the best player to fix Man United in that midfield, he would be, guys. Guys, if it came to it, life or death, who are you choosing, Baleba or Wharton? You got to say Wharton, haven't you? If it's life or death right now, you got to say Adam Wharton is the guy, to get you out the trenches. The protection that Worse is getting from the media is hilarious. We remember what Liverpool pundits and fans did with Pogba. Man United will always be hated, RDZ, regardless who it is. Man United, as soon as a player signs for Man United, just like Benjamin Sesko this week, right, with The Athletic, as soon as a player signs for Man United, they don't only play for the biggest club in the world, and the pressure is already astronomical. They're fighting against the media as well, right? The media want every single player to come to Man United and fail, and there are many players who come to Manchester United and fail because of the media and the scrutiny around the football club and the scrutiny around signings. It's difficult for Man United. It's difficult. And it is the most difficult in the country. We are the most hated club in the country. And those people think they're not. I worked in media 20 years. The most supported team in media are Liverpool and Arsenal, right? The most supported teams. They are not hated like the people like to push how they're hated. They're not. Man United are. Man United are very, very hated, guys. Absolutely. Earth and True Sal, this is a vanity project and not a regeneration project. It's a redevelopment project. Absolutely. It's put my name everywhere and promote Ineos and promote my name. Absolutely. Tyborg, you walk out Old Trafford and see the signs. Alex Ferguson stand, Sir Bobby Charlton stand. This alone is enough to keep a refurbished Old Trafford. This what we want to destroy. I cannot. It blows my mind, Tyborg, that anyone who claims to be a Man United fan, just because they're so pro Ineos, want to destroy Old Trafford. And don't want to rebuild Old Trafford. Oh, it'll be too expensive. Oh, the canal. Oh, the train track. All these lies and manipulation that they're going to be talking to you about. Absolutely, I don't fall for that nonsense. You know what I mean? I would rather stay at Old Trafford, just like Real Madrid stay at the Bernabeu, just like Barcelona stay at the Nou Camp. I would rather stay where we are. Spiritually, that is our home. That is our home spiritually. And we need to remember that as well. Absolutely. Wesley, good morning, by the way. Morning, Sal. My Manchester United colleagues say big up here at work. Big up, my friend. Big up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the show. Big up, Wesley, of course. John, Sal, why are the only Sal, why are you the only football YouTuber who talks sense? Because I love Manchester United, mate. And then many of them don't. Many of them don't. Many of them are like this. Clickbaits on their thumbnails. You know who they are. I love this football club. That's why I speak what's the truth, not the gospel, not what TalkSport want me to speak about, not what Sky Sports want me to speak about. I speak about the truth. If I get on Sky Sports, it'd be because of talent, not because of ticking a box. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So at the end, and I have been. And look, guys, there's many people who like, for example, I'll give you an example, right? People only want to talk about Ruben Amorim and slander Ruben Amorim because they get clicks and likes, and that's it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and this is the problem with the world. Leeson, good morning. It's the World Cup season. No surprise to see the likes of Shaw, Rashford perform very well. Absolutely, we predicted that, didn't we? Absolutely. Wesley, we all watching your podcast now and not working. Oh, big up, Wesley. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate you, mate. I mean, I don't know, you're easily pleased, but you know what I mean. There you go, mate. Thank you so much, my guy. I really do appreciate it. Absolutely. Fanative 8, what's going on, my bro? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Benny, Ineos and the Glazer talked best in class before they came in. We always had the best in class, mate. There were loads of manipulation and lies going around Man United during that process. One of the lies was Sheikh Jassim Hamid didn't exist, when obviously he does. I mean, at the end of the day, just because a gentleman who's a billionaire doesn't want to go in front of the camera all the time, it doesn't mean they don't exist. And as was proven, he was sitting there undercover at the World Club Championship final. Where's the apologies? No. I would rather have someone who wants to be low-key. He doesn't want to flirt himself. Well, at the end of the day, we're going to be bankrupt by Christmas. Lies. You know what I mean? I would rather someone come into this football club undercover and ruthlessly get things done. Because that's exactly what Sheikh Tassim Hamid would have done. He would have ruthlessly got things done. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Gurav, we should get experience. Big up, my friend. MB, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I'm not defending Belaber's dip in form, but I wonder if Brighton offered him a small increase in wages and asking him to wait until next summer. Then he's a mercenary, MB. That shouldn't affect your performances. Belaber should perform for your football club regardless. You're going to get money anyway. And if he truly wanted a new contract, Brighton would have given him a new contract. I know that for a fact, MB. MB, if he wanted more than 12 grand, he needs to open his mouth. That's it. And say, Brighton, I want a new contract. Otherwise, I'm leaving. That's what he needed to do. But it's his fault he was a mouse. His mentality is flawed, mate. He's weak. That's it. And we have to own that. Second division, no, they get about 2,000-3,000. But it's nothing. If your performances are based on money, then you're a mercenary. We're looking in some Levante player. I've already mentioned it. GK, welcome to the stream, mate. I was the first one to mention it. Etta Eong. Yes, Etta Eong is a striker who plays for Levante. Very powerful striker. Cameroon international. Good player, yeah. I was the first one to mention it, guys. Welcome to the latecomers of Stretford Post. 50 likes, thank you, Ephraim. Big up, Ephraim, guys. And guys, anyone want to be a moderator? Let me know. I'm doing interviews. I'm joking. I'm doing. Anyone want to be a moderator? Let me know, guys. I will put you down as a moderator, of course. Absolutely. Listen, we don't buy star players. We buy players and turn them into stars. That's what we used to do, Listen. Absolutely. Benny, Paul Scholes had bigger problems at home with his son, and God bless him, more problems at their side we ever had, but he performed every week. Yes, Benny. Beckham had mannequins hanging from a bloody train station. Beckham had things shouted in the stadium. I cannot repeat, otherwise I'll get banned. In the stadium, to his face, he had death threats. There's no reason not to underperform at your football club. No reason. Use it as motivation. At the end of the day, Carlos Baleba is going to get his big move. Right? But when he signed for Brighton, he was not that guy. That's why he got 12 grand. And if he wants more than 12 grand, then he needs to open his mouth and say, look, I want a new contract. But at the same time, he gets a new contract, his price is going to increase. You get me? So if he gets a new contract, his price is going to double probably. You know what I mean? And because his contract is longer. Absolutely, Benny. Good comment. A shit referee on Sunday for the match always against us. I hope so, man. I mean, I know probably who the referee is going to be, to be honest with you. MB, it depends on whether Bruno stays. Wharton isn't the most mobile, quick of players. He's intelligent, though. Very intelligent. That's why he's in the England team. Blaber won't get in the England squad. He's more of a Carrick and might struggle to cover Bruno's gaps. We need to get rid of Bruno. This is the key, MB. This is the key. You know what I mean? We need to get rid of Bruno. Needs to be sold. No matter. And MB makes a great comment because I've been speaking about this for a while now. Regardless who comes into this football club, if they're playing alongside Bruno, who's ill-disciplined in his positions, every player, more or less, is going to struggle at Man United. Do you know what I mean? Every player is going to struggle in that midfield. Absolutely. We got 3 players, hopefully. I don't know if Bruno's going to leave. I'm hearing that Bruno might stay now, which is wrong, I think. Wharton, Baleba, or Anderson are considered star players. They are currently popular since they are being linked to Manchester United. Get the best fit. Absolutely, brother. Keep Old Trafford. Yes, please. Big up for that debate. Absolutely. Christian. Why keep Luke and Harry? Look how quick Van Gaal let the likes of Van Persie, Nani, and just a few, and Raphael as well, rebuild the team. He made mistakes though. He shouldn't have got rid of Raphael and that. Absolutely not. We ended up playing Bothwick Jackson, Tyler Blackett, Paddy McNair under Louis Van Gaal. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But I agree with you there, Christian, in regards to Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire. These players need to move on. Even Bruno, I think they just need to move on. We need to get rid of the losing mentality. We need to get rid of it. We really do. And we need to move on from that, that loser mentality, you know what I mean? Which they are, leadership's in losing, Wharton every day of the week, Benny. Absolutely. Haaland. No, sorry, I thought you said Haaland. Haha, that thumbnail face impression is so true, Sal. When I see such thumbnails, I don't even open that video. I mean, look, you know who they are, man. You know who they are. You know, I mean, look, I'm not one for not making thumbnails, but I don't base my own thumbnail about facial expressions just to get a click and like. I take this football club very seriously, guys. I have done my whole life. These people don't. That's why they will never come on this show and be schooled about it. You know, these people don't understand how much I love this football club and how much I want this football club to succeed. Ephraim, Sal, we were what another club doing recruitment, youth, courage, fighter mentality. It's sad that we forward these owners. Absolutely, Ephraim. Big up, Ephraim. At least ballet performances for Cameroon was that bad, not that bad. It's Cameroon. He's playing Mauritius, mate. Mauritius. Leeds are over the. I mean, Mauritius. Who are they? They'll lose probably 15-0 to England. Bornvex. Big up, Sal. People top the appreciation button. Hit the likes. Thank you so much, Bornvex. Good to see you, my friend, as usual. Big up, Dave. What's going on, David? Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're good. Good to see you, brother. Hope everything is blessed with you on this Tuesday morning. Sal, it makes me some fans want to defend by saying the environment is the problem, not some of our fans, but knowledge must be. I mean, mate, I know, mate. Big up, Ephraim. Yeah, I get it. I mean, there's no excuses to underperform for Man United. Rash should have blamed everyone else but himself. You know what I mean? Morning. Absolutely. Talks of the Devil. Big up, Talks of the Devil. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Sal. What have I missed? Scroll back, guys. Scroll back. You'll see. And guys, spread the word as well, guys. Absolutely. Guys, look, at the end of the day, basically, what everyone is on, we're all on the same boat. We're all on the same boat. We all want a successful Man United at the end of the day, you know. But we are at this present moment in time, we're at a very pivotal moment, right? We need to make the right decisions, and part of that decision is the ownership. We need the Glazers out. We need those Glazers out. We need the debt cleared. Only then we're going to succeed, guys. You know, only then we're going to succeed as a football club. Because they're run by clowns and greedy mercenaries. You know, the last thing we need is more mercenaries in this football club. You know, and that goes with players, ownership, wherever it is. So, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. Thank you for 50 likes. Please don't forget to subscribe as well. Let me just read Tybo's comment. The main difference between this channel and others is that they firstly want to make money. You do it for the love for United and earn some money. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. If possible, but to money is not the priority. It's not the priority, mate. It helps the channel. I invest everything back into the channel. As small amount I get, I invest everything into the channel. You know, everything I have in the channel. I mean, and also I invested in transportation to find out information. Like yesterday, I pay for my taxis and my petrol and my this and that. You know, and to try and get as much information as possible, guys. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, yeah. Thank you, Tybog. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being here every day. And thank you for supporting the channel, my friend. And thank you, everyone, for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you, Kenny. Big up yourself. You're doing a World Cup stream, World Cup qualifier team, Benin. I don't think so. I may do an England watch along. But I keep your notifications on. If I do go live, guys, you'll know about it. But guys, thank you so much. I'll be back anyway for Chatterbox later on. Have a great day. Guys, and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to smash a like on the way out, and don't forget to put your notifications on. I'm Sal Warner, this is Breaking Dawn, and I'll see you later on, guys. Be there, be square. Take it easy. Peace.